It used to be you had to spend a lot of money to get a flagship smartphone. Case in point, the iPhone X is well over $1,000 and it goes up from there. But not everybody wants to spend $1,000 on a flagship smartphone, and they don't have to. That's where this comes in. Hey everybody, it's Andrew from AMDtech, and this is my unboxing and review of the UMIDIGI S2 Pro, a budget-level smartphone from China that won't break the bank. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as I have a lot of exciting things on the way to the studio, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. GearBest provided the review unit for today's review, but I'm not being paid or being sponsored by GearBest. I'm giving you my unbiased, honest opinion. The UMIDIGI costs about $300, but right now you can get it on flash sale for $279 at GearBest. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can get it. The UMIDIGI S2 Pro is powered by the Helio P25 processor. It's an octa-core processor. It's also got a 6-inch LCD IPS display with a resolution of 2160 by 1080. And of course it has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of onboard storage. It has 2 slots for 2 SIMs, and it also supports dual standby. Now, one of the SIMs will be swapped out for the microSD card slot for storage expansion. And it works in the United States on the GSM networks. That means AT&T, T-Mobile, and I was able to use it with my Project Fi SIM utilizing the T-Mobile network. And it does support a 4G network, as you can see here. At times it seemed like it was LTE speeds under the T-Mobile network that it was utilizing. Sometimes it would drop down to HSDPS+. Overall, it was definitely usable, not the fastest in the world, but coming out of China, we don't always get LTE service, so I'm kind of surprised and glad that I was able to get pretty decent speeds considering this was not meant for this market. The UMIDIGI S2 Pro has really good build quality. It's an all-metal design. It looks really nice. It has a stylish look to it, and it feels good in the hands. I was really impressed with the packaging. I didn't expect it to be such a high-end package coming from UMIDIGI, but it was really nice, as you can see here. Opening the box, you're greeted by the unit itself, and it feels pretty high-end. Really surprising just how high-end it feels. And it has a sandstone case already on it, which is a nice touch to include that in the box. You get a SIM ejection tool along with some documentation, and I'm happy to report that that documentation is in English. And I'm also happy that they use USB Type-C to charge this device. And you get the power adapter in the box as well. And they give you a USB-C headphone adapter, which you'll need since this doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. And it comes with a pre-applied screen protector. And I really like the fact they throw that sandstone case in the box. It feels really good, has a nice texture and grip to it. Really nice they include that in this package. Now you can get it in black, that's the unit I'm reviewing today, or you can get it in a very sharp red. The star of this show has to be its 6-inch Full HD Plus display. That's a resolution of 2160 by 1080. That's an 18:9 aspect ratio, and it has 402 pixels per inch. Now, I've been pleasantly surprised with this display. Now, it's a Full HD Plus display that really is very sharp. It's got very deep blacks and it's got very vibrant colors, which surprised me. At a $300 or less level smartphone, you don't necessarily expect that. So I was very surprised on how good this display really is. And as far as the bezels are concerned, it does have thin bezels, but you can notice them, and it's not bezel-less as you were led to believe in the promotional videos or in some of those promotional shots that were obviously photoshopped. I really like this display, really sharp, really bright. Overall, great job UMIDIGI. And as far as performance is concerned, I would say that the Helio P25 performs as you'd expect a mid-level smartphone to perform. It's certainly aided by the fact that it has 6 GB of RAM, and judging from the AnTuTu benchmark score as you see here, it can do some gaming. Navigating through the OS was pretty fluid. The Helio P25 actually performed pretty well. As you can see, the pinch to zoom, everything was working as far as navigating through the OS. And speaking of the OS, it runs Android 7.0 Nougat and the UMIDIGI OS version 2.0. As far as the skin goes, the UMIDIGI OS v2.0 actually works pretty well. It's pretty stock in terms of Android. There's not too much bloatware, and the OS seems pretty fluid. So this is the front-facing camera on the UMIDIGI S2 Pro. It's a 1080p camera as far as video is concerned, and you judge for yourself how you think it's doing. I'm outside right now, so I just wanted to give you an example of that front-facing webcam. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. The S2 Pro employs a dual camera setup on the back. It's got a 13 megapixel main shooter, and it also has a 5 megapixel secondary shooter. We'll get to that one in a minute. And it also has, of course, the LED flash. Now, as far as 4K video, you can shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second. It looked a little bit oversaturated to me. The colors weren't great. It wasn't the best 4K video I've ever seen, although it wasn't too shaky, and it did employ some, I guess, electronic image stabilization as it seems, but I'm not quite sure. Now you can get that bokeh effect. I think it's software based. I think that secondary camera is a fake because it really didn't look like it was doing anything. Other reviewers felt the same way. Again, I think this is more of a marketing ploy. This is not a real secondary camera, and it's a shame that UMIDIGI went that route. You can get some good shots in decent lighting conditions, but in low light situations, things start to fall apart. That's pretty typical of a sub $300 smartphone coming out of China. I just wish UMIDIGI was being honest about that secondary camera. I think it's a little bit bogus. UMIDIGI claims you'll get about 2 days of battery life with its 5100 milliamp hour battery, and for the most part, that's about right. But I think I was expecting even better battery life nonetheless. I got pretty good battery life. It got about 6 hours and 45 minutes of screen on time, and it needed a charge after use of about 2 days. So you get about 2 days use and 6.5 to 6 hours and 45 minutes, maybe 7 hours of screen on time, depending on what you're doing with this phone. Certainly good, not excellent as I was hoping. And it supports fast charging. You get about 35% in about 30 minutes, and a full charge from 0 to 100% takes about 2.5 hours, which is okay. As I stated earlier, there's no 3.5mm headphone jack, which is a bit of a shame as most phones nowadays don't have it, but they do include an adapter in the box which allows you to use your wired headphones. Now, as far as sound is concerned, there is a mono speaker located on the bottom of the device. It's actually pretty good. It has good volume. There is a hint of bass. It's actually one of the better speakers you'll get on one of these manufactured phones from China. Now let's hear it in action. The UMIDIGI S2 Pro now introduces a Face ID, and it was actually okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't the fastest in the world, but it did work and registered my face pretty much every time. Now there's a fingerprint sensor located on the back of the device, a placement that I actually like, and it worked pretty well. Setup was easy, and it registered my finger pretty much every time I used it. However, I did notice a slight delay when I did press my finger on the fingerprint sensor and it unlocking the phone. So something to keep in mind, not a deal breaker, but there is that slight delay. And the UMIDIGI S2 Pro is water resistant, at least that's what UMIDIGI is claiming. Now I couldn't test it out simply because I did drop the phone and I did crack the screen, and I wasn't about to find out if this water resistance applied to cracked screens as well. So keeping that in mind, I think you can spill something on it. I wouldn't go swimming with this, so just bear that in mind. But it does have some water resistance from what I understand, and I'm pretty sure that's a pretty accurate statement. Again, I wouldn't be submerging this in water for too long for an extended period of time. So to bring it all home, can I recommend the UMIDIGI S2 Pro? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is yes, but there are some caveats you need to be aware of. First off the bat, I like its price. It's less than $300. In fact, it's $279 on flash sale right now at GearBest. See the link below. And I also like the fact that it has a really nice Full HD Plus display. It's got an 18:9 aspect ratio, which is all the trend here in 2018, and that's no exception. And it's pretty sharp, it gets pretty bright, and I really liked its responsiveness. Overall, I think it's a really rich, saturated, colors look good. Everything looks really good on that display. You get the decent battery life, not the outstanding battery life I was hoping. It got a stylish design. You get the decent performance with the Helio P25, and it has some pretty good audio coming out of that mono speaker, some of the best I've heard out of the Chinese manufacturers as of late. But of course, this is not a perfect smartphone. There is a fake secondary camera, and the cameras in general are so-so. That's a bit of a bogus move on the part of UMIDIGI. You don't get a 3.5mm headphone jack, which today I think is a big con. Unfortunately, many manufacturers are following Apple's lead, which is a negative in my opinion. But with those negatives aside, I think this is a good buy, especially under $300 right now, $279, which I think is a good price for what you're getting. A very nice display, a sharp, bright display, the good audio, the good performance, and overall nice design. That's why I'm going to give this an 88%, making this worth your money. So what do you think about the UMIDIGI S2 Pro? Now, I do like it. The key points that I really like here is the fact that it has that 6-inch IPS display. It's bright, it's vibrant, the blacks are deep, the colors are very vibrant, and they seem to pop off the display. Everything I'm looking for in a flagship smartphone. It's got this 18:9 aspect ratio, or the 2:1 aspect ratio, which is all the rage right now. And it was did really well. Now, I dropped it, I cracked the screen. It has Gorilla Glass 4, and I gotta say the crack was minimal considering the kind of drop it did onto hardwood floor. And I think it did really well. I thought it held up pretty well. So Gorilla Glass 4 on that is really good. Now, at some point, I'm going to repair this at some point. But again, I have to test so many phones. It's not my priority right now. I like the fact they put that sandstone case. It has a nice grip, nice texture to it. Really good look as far as I'm concerned. It really reminds me of the OnePlus case that they were providing. But as far as this phone is concerned, performance was good. The Helio P25. Audio is good out of this mono speaker. I have no real complaints in that department. It's got the dual SIMs. It's got everything you'd want. It's got a micro SD card slot for storage expansion, and it comes in under $300. Right now, you can get it for $279 on flash sale. I'll put that link below. But I'm curious to know what you think about the UMIDIGI S2 Pro. Leave a comment in that comment section. I am curious to know. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.